Hi, my name is Andrei Volgin. I have medical education, so I have MD degree, and I have specialization more in preventive medicine. Besides it, I have PhD degree, so I'm leading scientist in area of immunology, medical genetics, molecular and cell biology. But also, I have a pretty intensive experience in healing and spiritual techniques, which I was introduced and learned and somehow connected with different people from all the world. And later in my other episodes I will share with you with this experience. But in this episode I would like to introduce you with beginning of my system, which I create when I try to fuse together all this formal scientific knowledge with the spiritual knowledge. And after I was able to do it, I was able immediately help not only myself but my family, my friends, to make life much more easy, much more healthy, happy. And so after all of this, my experience, I became a life coach. So I decided today discuss two very interesting, very important questions which probably nobody never discussed before in normal life. I mean, everyone discusses it, but it's not very easy to understand what is this for real. Because it's some kind of more philosophy questions, but without understanding what is this, or at least without making some kind of practical conclusion what is this, what I can use from these directions, it's very hard to begin do something or change life for real. I'm going to discuss today two subjects. One, what is the aim of life? Very simple. And second, the same simple, what is mean happiness? So I begin with purpose of life, what life it is. Nobody knew what it is for real. There are a lot of determination, some kind of formulation, what is this, but what we can tell for sure that life begins probably 3.5 billion years ago. Life approximately, Earth was created somewhere around 5 billion years ago. I don't know how accurate this data, but somehow life begins. And as soon as life begins, it's never stop. It's rolling and rolling and rolling. And life before and life now has big difference. What's the difference between these two kinds of lives, two kinds of conditions of living objects? We name it evolution. We found that everything which was developed long time ago somehow changed their form, activities, they became more efficient, they became more active, they became more successful. What's the difference between bodies and organisms long time ago and now? Information. Biosphere creates the same steps of evolution as it's happened with our computers now. First computers was very big, very huge, very heavy, very slow functional and able to manipulate with very low amount of information. Now we have very small, very efficient, has able to function with very high informational data. So evolution in biosphere is improving quality of information. Information is critical part, very important part of all biological objects, because we are self-organized systems. And we organize ourselves based on information which we receive. And all of these events, all these life events happened in scale of biosphere. Biosphere is all living organisms on the Earth, all ecosystems, all species, all connection between them. And we don't know so far life without biosphere. Human being also part of biosphere. We're integrating this system. And it means that we, even evolutionary and now, are still connected to biosphere, and we couldn't ignore that we're somehow bio-robots. We have together part of animals or biological objects and part human being. So today I will be more speak about biological part, because it's very important to understand from what we're based, what our construction begins. So let's return back to biosphere. So biosphere, huge big system which organizes its activity through activity of units inside biosphere, inside species. And interesting enough that for biosphere scale, unit of evolution is not individual or not body, it's population or ethnicity, as we speak about human. So it means that we need to change our perspective of vision of ourselves, the same like we change it according of our understanding of sun flying around. So when we don't know how universe functions, we say, hey, Earth in the center of universe and sun flying around. Now we knew that it's a little bit different, that actually Earth flying around sun, and almost the same about our system. So we are integrating biosphere, and biosphere integrate inside us programs and commands and some kind of motivation, some kind of instructions, how to live and what to do during our lifetime. And based on this, and all of this system, they coordinate so that first place and service to biosphere interest, to species interest, and then it's come to individual activity. Why it's important to understand? Because later I will speak about what kind of set of programs do we have, but before, let me just describe one stuff which everyone knew, that each life begins from one cell, from the egg. And from this egg created huge three-dimensional body which has some kind of idea, some motivation, some kind of life. And what it means? It means that almost all information which we need right down in DNA level, in our genes. And before human being was created by evolution, or I don't know by whom, all information, all generations were created based on genetic information only. It means that every time all information which body has should to be packed inside DNA level on genes and then transmit to next generation. So we couldn't put too much information, too much knowledge, too much fresh knowledge in egg. We can put only some kind of sequence of events, some kind of instincts, some kind of directions or ideas or some kind of motivations inside egg, which then, when egg created in big body, create activity. And this is how function animals in the same way. So, interesting enough that animals, the same like we are, have some kind of freedom of activity, or freedom of behavior. And this freedom is connected that we are going to do what we wanted, and we don't want to do what we don't want to do. And what do we like to do is not free ideas, it's what we like to do, it's right down inside us at manual and instructions or motivation or some kind of needs which we want to fulfill. And when we realize, when we fulfill, when we finish or activate this program successfully, doing what it was right down inside us as manual, we feel, oh, we're happy, we're free, we finally did what we wanted to do. And if we fail, we feel frustration, depression, and something not right. So, again, let me repeat that aim of life is process of life. Life happened in scale of biosphere, and each individual life connected to biosphere through some kind of programs, some kind of law, where the bigger scale has more priority and more important for our life than our life itself. So we have three levels of motivation, or three level programs which install inside ourselves. First level, connect to all kind of behavior, instincts and reflexes which connected to our body. So it means keep our body life, functional, and prevent damage. It's similar, almost similar with human being and animals function almost the same programs. We need to eat, sleep, drink, breathe. We need to escape from danger. We need to remove our body from damaging conditions, like physical damaging conditions or some kind of high or low temperature. So it's again how to function and prevent one unit body. And estimation of system which push us to do it function on way that extremely high pain or fears or negative feelings if we do something wrong, and almost no positive reward when we remove these conditions. For instance, you have pain because you put finger in fire. You just instinctively remove it, you have relief for a short time, and you don't have any pain. Do you happy? Not necessary, just forget about it very soon. The same like you're thirsty, you just die and you want to drink. You drink a couple glasses of water, and then you forget about water because you want to eat or do something else. So again, negative emotions privilege, positive almost zero or close to this, and absence of negative emotions, negative feelings like pain or fears is positive reward for realization of these programs. Second set of programs is much more connected to the level of population or ethnos. It's all programs which allow us connected to members of our society, which create family, create next generations, social activities. All of this stuff which connect to save species as population or as ethnos together, which cemented them. Some kind of altruistic instincts also involved in this, when we're able to sacrifice part of our interest to fulfill interests of bigger system. Later in different program I will speak about more details how it's organized and how not trivial system function. But very important that if we don't do something which we need to do and which is right down in our DNA, we feel negative emotions. But if we do, we have positive. So negative and positive, reward and damage and negative feelings, it's approximately 50-50. And then other part, third part of programs, it's probably unique for human being only, because in this situation, what we're doing, we create new information. It's already bigger scale, it's already for evolution or even maybe more biosphere, or even more high level. New information that exists before. It's very hard to create something new. It's easy when you come, multiply it, share it, modify it, but bring new, it's real, very hard efforts. And inside us install mechanisms which give to us maximum pleasure we can feel when we create something new, recognize something new, do something new, something unique, very important for biosphere. And it's so tasty that lack of these feelings, not reach these feelings, create very big negative frustration for people who somehow are able to, even one time in life, feel how tasty to create something new. What else interesting about these programs is that first level of programs connect to our body function, almost don't need to modify it. It's genetically imprinted completely and it functions like it is. But second set of programs, when we need to create social activity, we need to create second level of second generation and so on more, a little bit more tricky. That evolution was very smart, because if the more simple organisms, the more simple in scale of evolution organisms, the more behavior of this individual organism conservative. So it's like someone was born, immediately stand up, run down, feeding and escape from some kind of dangerous conditions, grow very fast, multiply, and everything just dictated by programs which already imprint inside programs, DNA programs. We don't need, this animal doesn't need to know something different. But the more complicated, the more sophisticated, the more developed species exist, the more these programs not finish. Probably everyone knew example of imprinting like duck. When duck go out from egg, during several hours, first who huge go around will be mother. Doesn't matter, it's real duck, huge duck, or it's human being, so this small duck jump and begin follow this moving object. One day later, this program stop, and doesn't matter who going around, nobody will imprint. As soon as object or image of this working object imprint inside duck, it immediately activates set of different other programs of how to pursue this person, how to do this or do that, and it's almost impossible to change image. It's already imprinted, it's already fixed. Other example of this time-consuming or time-dependent activity of these programs is very important part, probably one of the most important part of life of human being. Baby, when they grow, they need to learn how to speak, how to activate and how to receive knowledge for second signaling system, language. And interesting enough that if baby don't receive enough information, doesn't create this second signaling system till age of 5 years old, this baby never became human being. It still will be very smart, very active animal. So time pass, no possibilities to return back. Why I'm speaking about it? Because it's very important to say the difference between human being and all animals is that human being is the most species where these programs the most wild and not finished to compare to animals. That's why we need education, we need some kind of examples, we need some kind of development, and it takes a long time for baby to grow and understand how everything functions, because a lot of new information should be installed inside these pre-print, pre-ready programs, but they're not ready, they never will function if this information doesn't come and doesn't make this system functional. It's very, very important part. It means that if we don't learn something and if we don't develop something in proper time, we miss this opportunity almost forever. Also what's important to say is that in our life we have several phases of our life. We have embryogenesis, we have time when baby grow, we then have time when young boys and girls transform to adult, it's teen time. Then they become young adults and adult fully functional. Then old people, and then finally they die from old conditions in old age. And if we begin to analyze how these programs function during lifetime, it's very interesting that during embryogenesis, immediately after embryogenesis, the privilege has genetical programs. So it's very strong motivations, very strong vital energy supplied by our genes. When we begin adult, we have probably 50-50 genetical predisposition, some kind of energy we receive and some kind of support, plus our knowledge, our ability to understand who we are, our intellectual ability, our personal knowledge is begin very important to make our life complete as possible. When we begin old, genetical programs begin switch off. And we have personality, we have ideas, we have intellectual level, but there's no support from genetical programs. And interesting enough that it's not so helpless like you can think, because it is possible, knew how system function, make these programs functional, make them roll more long than it's right down on DNA level. And it's allowed to be young and strong and productive and enjoy life at any age. So be young and very old age, it's possible to do. And how to do it, I will discuss it a bit later in other programs. Thank you very much.